Now your next question might be, do you have to put 2 coats of quickset on here? Could you put the all-purpose joint compound on next after this dries? Yeah, you could do that, but I like to put a second coat over this of quickset because then it fills up the voids, and you can't really see them from there, but I see one here, maybe a little bit in there, right there, over in here a little bit. So I like to get a little bit more mud up there. The second coat's it's not going to be very much, but I want to get it in there because if I put the all-purpose joint compound in there now, after this dries, it might have a tendency to shrink a little bit more, and I might have to put a couple coats on there. Because what I want to do, after I get the next coat of quickset on here, I'm going to let that dry today too, and then I'll be able to scrape that a little bit and put the first coat of all-purpose joint compound over that. And I don't want to, the all-purpose joint compound, I don't want to put too many thick coats of that on there because it's going to shrink. I want all the back surface, the first and second build-up coats of quickset. Then I don't have to put as much all-purpose joint compound over that. Okay, that's just how I do patches, and my patches come out looking good too. So will yours. I've got a 4-inch broad knife and it barely covers, so if you're good, you can just use your 4-inch. Wiping off any excess as you go. Now, the more patches you do, the better you're going to get with them. Now, if you want to use a 6-inch, I got a 6-inch here. Might be a little bit easier to use now because it'll cover all the way. And I want to try to keep most of it off of the rest of the surrounding patch. And it's okay if I get over here as long as I wipe it off, because then I'm going to sand that when it all dries. Okay, so I can use a 6-inch here too for that. Easier to put it on because it covers the entire patch area where I need. I don't have to be as careful, you know? Like I say, because we had the groove, I'm just going from groove to groove, filling that in. I'm not tapering it over to the existing on both sides like I would normally on a patch, because I didn't have that type of condition here. I'm trying to backhand it up here. Wipe off my edges. And I'm seeing some little lines in here, and I might have mixed it up and got just a little bit of dry bit in there. I'm getting it off. I could have mixed it a little bit more as I was getting it mixed up in the pan. I want to wipe off any excesses that I get over there. Ooh! I was going for my face. Okay. Wiping off the excess around the patch. There it is. Could maybe put a little bit more right in there. Got a line in there. So I'm going to try to use some different mud out of my pan. And just keep going until I get it off of there. Okay, that's better. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it at that for now. Let that dry. That's all I have to do with my quickset. Now see, if this was a different patch, let's say I had tape up there and I didn't have a nice groove to fit it in, I would have had to have bridged it over a little bit further, the patch. Because if you can imagine a piece of tape just on sheetrock, let's say there was two seams butted straight up together, some butt seams or something, you had to put a piece of tape over there. Well, now you're building up the overall surface. So each time you put more mud on, you have to bridge that over so that eventually a patch becomes this wide. Well, because we already pulled that tape off, all I had to do was fill up that inside bit, you know what I mean? Once this dries, then I'll be able to put the all-purpose joint compound on there, and then I'm going to bridge it out a little bit further. Because what you want to do is that all-purpose, even if I got this perfect, and I thought, okay, I don't have to do anything, because it's quickset, the primer and the paint's not going to adhere properly, and it's not going to blend, well, it's going to adhere, but it's not going to blend in to the rest of the ceiling. You're going to see exactly where this patch is, because no matter how smooth you get quickset, it's a porous material, and the paint takes differently than it does with the all-purpose joint compound, which means this joint would stick out like a sore thumb. It would look like, who did that patch? And you say, man, I got it perfect. What's happening? How come it didn't blend in? Well, it didn't blend in because you didn't put a coat of all-purpose joint compound over this. When I put that over this, I've got to bridge it out this way a little bit because it needs to be thick enough to cover this. Okay? You'll see